Hi, I'm Pam with PS Photography. Thank you for choosing me as your photographer, first off. Today, we are going to talk about how to dress for your family session. First up, I want you to choose what emotion or what story you want me to tell. Some of you might already have a vision for your photos, and I want to know more about that. That way we can go more in detail on how you should dress for your session. So for me, if someone tells me they want a cozy session on the top of a mountain in sweaters, hoodies, maybe drinking some hot cocoa, that tells me that they want this cozy, intimate session. But if you come to me and you say that you would prefer to have a session that shows how fun and edgy you guys are, I might recommend some denim jackets, some leather jackets, maybe a more grunge look, some t-shirts of your favorite band, something like that. So first off, we need to figure out what emotion or story you want to tell or what your vision is for this session. I'm going to do a trial on for you guys on how a session for me might go if I was to be wanting my photos taken. The motion that I might want captured is I would want someone to capture my connection with my kids, our emotional connection or bond, how we interact naturally. Now, with a session like this, it's not going to be superposed. It will be mostly me giving prompts like, oh, give mom the biggest bear hug, and the kids are just squeezing so tight that they're squeezing their little eyes, and I want to capture those moments. um so for me, I'm going to choose for myself, whenever I do a dress here, I'm going to choose something that I think is going to be soft and something that can capture emotion or movement. I would like something with movement, maybe, to get those little details. But also, if you are like, I'm just a boss and I want you to capture how bold and beautiful I am, I might suggest some bright colors. And another way we're going to discuss picking colors later is just going through the color wheel. So, first up, what do you like? Are you the type that likes the matchy matchy outfits, or would you prefer coordinating colors or complementary colors? I know for extended family, it's going to be super easy to pick a color scheme. Let's do blues, let's do whites, let's do tans, just like the ocean. Whatever you would see in the ocean. That would be the color scheme for an extended family that I would recommend. Um, Instead of doing all white t-shirts and jeans or khakis. Now, I do think sibling photos are so cute when they have the matching sets, especially if they're little twins. So I'm not saying don't ever do matchy matchy. I do like matchy matchy, but I do prefer coordinating colors as well. These are actually my kids over here. My daughter, she does not like to wear dresses. She is the biggest tomboy, so you will never see her in a dress. So I keep that in mind whenever I'm choosing an outfit for her. I always do something that is true to who she is and her personality, because I don't want my daughter in a dress and hanging on the wall when that's not who she is as a person and that's not her style. Also, if I put her in a dress, how uncomfortable would she be during the session? She'd be itchy, she'd be complaining, and it's just not capturing her true personality. So I keep that in mind whenever I'm also picking outfits for my kids. Next up, we're going to start choosing our color scheme. This is a perfect color scheme, I think, for those neutrals, the earth tones and neutrals connected. I think they turn out beautiful, and it's something that you can keep on the wall all year long. It's not something like those fall photos where you're doing the oranges and the maroons, the navies, and you have this photo in your living room, and really your living room might even be only neutrals. Or maybe you have a pop of color. Maybe that pop of color is blue or yellow, and you have this fall photo in your room, in your living room, and it's not really complementing the scheme of your space. So just keep that in mind. Have a vision for where you might want to have your framed photos placed in your house, and maybe pull colors from that room if that's something that you want to accent or complement your space. Now we're going to choose to either stick with the neutrals that we start where that we're starting with, or we're going to add to them. We can add to them by adding patterns or textures. I like to try to keep it within 2 different textures because too many textures can be overwhelming, and I'll try to show you some of those samples here in a second. And what I've done is I've pulled some outfits out for my kids and myself personally from our closets or my client closet. So if there's ever anything that you could not find, or maybe you saw something on my website that was my client closet, I do have a lot available on my client closet that you guys can use. So you can choose to stick with the only neutrals, or we can add a pattern or a texture. When I add patterns, I don't like super big, busy patterns. I do like little tiny patterns most of the time. There are exceptions to this, so I don't say it's a rule. But I do like to do smaller patterns personally for myself. Next, we can do coordinating colors. So if I'm doing like this back here, these are my neutrals over here, but I'm adding coordinating colors that are earth tones. So here we have tans, and we've got our pop of color, which is the green, but the green is also still in the tone of these colors. So that way it still looks a little bit neutral. I don't think that this is a rule. I don't think that you should only do that, because later you'll see I do the neutrals with darker tones as well. When choosing your earth tones, if you're wanting to include some earth tones, just remember that the deep tones tend to look a little more like fall. So if you're not wanting to have a fall photo or a photo on your wall that looks super fall-like to you, and you'd like to keep it more neutral for the space, these deep tones, when you're wearing them, they are going to look a little more fall-like, but not always. Just keep all that in mind. Spring tones, I do think pastels, like over here, lighter shades, do look super beautiful for your spring colors, but I also think that they're super romantic colors. So if it's you and your husband and you've got this flowy dress that's pink and he's wearing white, I think that that would look so romantic. Here's an example of some earth tones that I did for a fall session. And here's some things to avoid. I know I touched on this a little bit, how too many patterns can be super busy. So I try to stay away from matching plaid. So on some fall sessions, everyone wants to show up in the same color plaid t-shirt or flannel, I mean. And this does look super busy. It's going to take away from your photos so much. I'm not going to be able to focus on a lot of the little details, because your photo is going to be just covered in pattern. That's all you're going to see. So I don't typically like the everybody wears flannels. Let's show up in these matching flannels. For that reason, it does take away a lot. Now, I'm not saying don't ever do a pattern or a flannel. I think that there's ways to do it tastefully and without it being super busy. So what I recommend for you to do is lay out your outfit, take a picture with your cell phone, and look at it and say, is this too busy? Or send it to me. But I do think that the matching PJs are super cute. So Flannels are okay only for Christmas PJs if everyone's matching in a flannel. For more than one person wearing a pattern, I also think that it could be distracting. So whenever I look at this, I want to see those eyes. I want to see those cute little smiles. And whenever I look at photos with a lot of patterns where every person in the family is wearing a pattern, even if it matches, it does look a little more distracting. Okay, here's something you can try. You can try doing neutrals, but with the pop of color. And I mentioned that a second ago. So we have some neutrals over here. And then this is my beautiful mother. She is wearing this bright pop of color. And I think it just complements her so well. This session was all about her. So I really wanted her to stand out. And here she is. Okay, what will you choose? What kind of neutrals will you choose, or what kind of earth tones or pops of color? What is the session going to look like for you? Okay, I'm going to go back to this. Before I move on, I'm going to show you a few outfits that I have pulled out. Okay, here is a dress for mom. This is one of mine, and it does have a pattern on it, as you can see. It's super flowy, pretty romantic. I'm going to put it right here. So whenever I add to this, I'm going to pull colors. I'm going to pull colors out of the dress that would match. So a color for one of my daughters that I would choose. Let's say it's pink. This is also in the client closet. It is from Joyfully. And I have this in big girls and a little girl. So as we can see, if it was just me and my daughter, this looks so cute together. And I'm going to add to it with a outfit for my son, or we could even say it's for my husband if it was a family session. And that looks super cute. And there, I think we're done. But I do have one more kid, so I'm going to add to it for myself. I'm going to choose this. I have a few different options laid out, but I do see the blue that's in the dress as well. So we're going to put this over here. And just like that we are done. What I could put if I was putting my husband in this photo as well, I could put my husband in a white shirt, a white button up as well. And here's another thing. So whenever you're thinking about outfits, I'm going to take a picture of me with each kid. So does this look good? Yes. Would this look good together? Yes. That would also look good together. Then I'm going to take a picture of my kids alone. And as you can see, my kids together just like that, I still think that looks great. Okay, let's talk about tint tone shades. And this is on the color wheel. So these are all of our tints. So whenever you're picking the shades, this is not a rule. This is just something that you can do. This tint is the same as this tint and this tint. So what you can do is just like before on this session, in this session, these are all the same tint. So as you can see, here's this color, and what was the other color they were wearing? Green. All three of them here would look good together because they're the same tint. Now let's go up. Say you want a bold color. Let's do this color and mix it with this color. Those two colors together, or even these three colors together, they're super bold and they're beautiful together. You can also do things opposite of the color wheel. So opposite of the color wheel are your complementary colors. So this color and this color together would look so good. They're complementary colors, so they complement each other. Okay, here is a session of one of my friends that I did. I styled this session completely. These are all outfits from the client closet. And oh my goodness, I think I just did it again. These are the same, it looks like, as this, the same colors, except this is white. Let's change it to ivory. Okay, got an ivory shirt. So now it's the same color scheme here. And as you can see, I think it works great together. You can always add in your pattern color, and that would look great as well. You can always do more than one accent color. So if I'm doing neutrals and it's all neutral, and this is your accent color, just know that you can have more than one accent color. It can be two. So it's blue and pink for this one. And I hope this is helping. Here's another one. The accent colors are green and pink here. And as you can see, the pink and the green are still within the same tint, the same type of tone. And I think that's all that I have, so I can go back. And here, just once again, we have neutrals with the pop of color. Let me get a few more outfits here. So something that I don't recommend is having multiple different colors that are not within the same tone or tint. So all of these, as you can see, the blue and this orange color, they do look about the same, but the pink looks odd. It does not look good. Another thing, here's a few patterns. Okay, so as you can see, all three of these do collectively go together as far as our tones and the colors that are in the dress. So I pulled the colors from inside the dress, the pattern, to accent the dress, but it's not really accenting the dress because they're all three a pattern. But if this was a solid color and this was a solid color, it would definitely look way better. If that makes sense. So as far as textures, this is the last thing that I'm going to go over. Different textures. We have the flowy dress. That's a solid. Here's another flowy dress. So since these are the same texture, I think it works great. But let's change this texture to this texture and this texture. And even this texture. I don't think you can see it very well. So all of these textures together kind of looks like it clashes. So what I recommend is just going with two textures. These two different textures could look good together. But once you go in and you add, say, another texture, it does look a little busy. All right. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can always add in anything, any accessories. I do love the little cardigans. So you could add a cardigan and a little hat. And keep in mind, you don't have to wear it for the whole session. You could wear it for a couple pictures just to change up the look. All right, just let me know if you need anything. Thanks.